late hours here at Bloggapalooza 2006. I'm here with Bridget Ginley. Her blog is Erie.Effusion.blogspot.com. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your blog.
Well, I'm an artist, so a lot of times what I do on my blog is kind of I scan a lot of my images and I take a lot of pictures of my working process, how I start things, how I stretch canvas, how I make prints, how I make certain kinds of paint. I also cook, so I kind of will take you through the process of how I, will actually make certain things, very similar to art. I'm a DJ. Oftentimes I'll put my show, I link my show every week, and I post my playlist, and I kind of talk a little bit about some of the artists that I play and where I find them and how I find them, and I'm kind of in a habit where, like, on Tuesday I feature 3 artists, and Thursday I feature art that I like, visual artists that I like, because I also curate a small gallery in Slavic Village. And sometimes I use it. It's called Art in the Village at 5700. It's actually in a non-profit space. It's in the Neighborhood Housing Services of Greater Cleveland. I have the back space of it and I hang art in it. So sometimes, I cross over and use my blog to promote some of the shows that we have because they do have great traffic on it. So I'd like to talk about what I do and why I pick certain artists, or if I went to an artist studio and what I saw, what I liked, and so I do a lot of artist visits.
How long have you been blogging?
Probably about 2 years.
How did you get started?
I read a lot of blogs. I've been involved in a lot of galleries over the years, and one of my partners was a web designer, and a part of his website, he had a little blog, which he would talk about the openings we would have, what artists we were featured, and we really were able to use it as a great marketing tool as far as, hey, we're a hip little space, this is what's going on, and if you showed up, then, maybe you got your picture on the blog, and it was kind of like a promotion thing. It was like, kind of a hip underground way of promoting what we did. And then along the way, my partner would talk about, certain artists that we reviewed or art that we liked, and kind of gives you more of an actual inside idea of what people are thinking when they have galleries. And we were a non-commercial space, why we would pick certain art, because we weren't in it for the money. So what did we like about these artists that brought us to choosing them? And so after we disintegrated our gallery last year, and I kind of always had it's kind of like a diary, but I kind of stepped it up a notch once I have my own space now. And, I used to be a curator for Progressive Incorporated, and they have a big collection there. And so I like to talk about some of the art that I was really influenced by, and why I picked certain local artists, and kind of what I refer to them in pop culture and modern art.
What's your main audience? Is it the art community? Is it kind of just everyone? Is it?
Well, at first I didn't think anybody was ever logging on, and I had this gallery space, and we would rent it out to a lot of events. And George would rent it out a couple times, and he kind of introduced me to the Bird Fresh Daily community. And so I started to see other blogs, and certainly that changed how mine was, because I was more aware of what other people wrote and what they put in theirs, and kind of how they were using it for their marketing tools or for their personal. Most people do have some kind of agenda. It's not usually just like some kind of diary. And I put a site meter on there, and I started to figure out that there are a lot of local people who read my blog, but there's also a lot of people internationally, because they do a lot of searches for the bands that I play and for a lot of the art that I post. And if they're looking for paintings or collages, I do give away art every Friday on my blog too. So that's also what I get a lot of hits on Friday too.
That's your big day?
That's my big day. That's probably the big day that I should have mentioned right off. But I was kind of, I started my blog kind of like, you're interested in artists and you want to know what they're thinking and why they choose certain colors, and I was a big Andy Warhol fan, and I read his book, and it told me nothing about what the hell he was thinking, except he liked hanging out with Mick Jagger and he went to dinner, and that doesn't really tell you a whole lot. So I kind of want to use my blog as, here's what I started with, here are the ones that didn't work, here's why.
You do the same thing when you blog about cooking or other things?
Right, I burned this, it tastes like crap, the other day I made a smoothie, and I put grapes in it, and they sucked, because, the skins are, not tearing up, and, it looks funny, and you kind of admit to your mistakes, but...
So you're an artist, you do mostly painting, or you do other things as well?
I'm mainly a painter, but I do printmaking, I draw a lot, and sometimes I do some ceramics, it just depends.
All right. Her name is Bridget, and she blogs at Erie.Effusion.blogspot.com.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.